What is up, everyone? It is Noxious, aka Nox, here with you again with another episode of the HCOM Podcast. And right now, I'm by myself. All by myself. Okay, I won't quit my day job. But if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate you guys and gals, and all you gamers out there. I just figured I'd do a little short podcast today. We just finished not too long ago, a couple days ago, hosting a tournament. It was our first tournament, and we live streamed it. And we had some issues that came through, but we got through it, and it we persevered, and we learned some things from it, what we can do moving forward. But everybody seemed to have a great time. It was really fun, and so I'm excited to present more tournaments and entertainment for you guys. But also, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, comment what you want us to talk about when we, crank more of these out. But today I figured I'd just go over some videos, just kind of talk, give some tips and pointers for people who may be new to gaming, may have been gaming for a while and maybe struggling. But also, if you're new to the channel as well, and to the organization, MOCH stands for Mercenaries Online Creating Hell. I am the owner and founder. And then the name of the podcast is called HCOM. And it's just MOCH spelled backwards, but it also stands for heavy comms. Those comms got to be on point, right? Especially when you're playing in a tournament, or if you're a competitive play, even casual play too, it helps. But previous podcasts, we've had several guests come on and talk about their personal experiences in gaming, life outside of gaming, what they like to do, their interests and hobbies per se. And it's been really interesting and fun to learn what other people like, to see what other people's perspective is. Me personally, I've been playing video games for, gosh, I don't know how long, but specifically FPS, well over a decade. And I also used to work heavily in the production industry, like television, a few film, stuff like that. And so combining production and esports together, it's like a big thing for me, right? It's a big dream. It's fun, it's entertaining. You got your highs, you have your lows, the pros and cons and everything, but I'm passionate about both of them. And so I'm super excited to present more of those two combinations for everyone to enjoy. But more so on the esports side, gaming, I love playing video games. I think it was like right around Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the first one. That's when I really started getting more, how should I put this, more involved in the toxicity of the Call of Duty chat, especially when the first Modern Warfare, and then when Modern Warfare 2 came out. I mean, the chat lobbies, when you joined people, I mean, it was just, you open up a can of worms, and just by joining the lobby, and I think people who have grown up in that era and have played in those lobbies and talk trash and talk shit and kind of had, I guess, like thick skin, it didn't really matter if you wanted to play recreational or if you were like in it to go pro or like comp. You wanted to do well. You wanted to get a nuke. You wanted to pop off. You wanted to get all those cool, calling cards or emblems and stuff like that. Season pass was a big deal for me. I love doing that. But nowadays, I feel like, looking back when I've played again for years and years, and now that I play again, I can see a drastic change. Personally, my view is you hardly can, it's like you can hardly ever say or do anything without somebody getting offended or somebody reporting you or even your name. I remember one Call of Duty game, I tried to put MOCH as my clan tag. For those of you who don't know or new to gaming, clan tag is there's a little space before your actual in-game ID, and you can put like a 4-digit. It used to be just 4 digits, but I think they bumped it up to 5 or 6. But it's like a four. You have 4 character slots to put like a name of your clan or team or whatever. So if it was Hell Clan or if it was R or whatever. Well, of course, I was with MOCH, so I put MOCH and it said this clan tag is offensive or something like that. I'm like, what? How is that even possible? How? You know? But I guess I went on to a little off ramp. But I'm headed back to home plate here. But it feels like in this era of gaming, it's very difficult. Unfortunately, I've been watching a lot of streamers. I've been talking to a lot of gamers, and it's just like they always have to try to give a reason or give some clarity as to what they said and why they said it. Whereas the average person or a person with at least half a brain would understand the context of which was said. And now it's just like you have to provide context for almost every single thing. That's just me personal as a gamer. Just talking to you guys as a gamer, not like anything else. As from a gamer perspective, I find it very difficult to play online against people that you don't know and you say something and then you are at risk of getting reported or whatever. It's just lo siento. Yeah. But anyways, but yeah, playing recreational back in the first Modern Warfare, that's all. Even in those toxic lobbies, I just, it didn't phase me. I didn't let it get to me, and I didn't start playing competitive play until like Black Ops 2. That's when I really saw that there's like people playing for massive amount of money, and they're playing in LAN tournaments and stuff. Those were all new to me then, and so that's when I started getting into competitive play, and so I can speak on both levels from competitive play and recreational play, and I feel like coming from both sides of the coin or spectrum or debate or fence or whatever you want to call it, I've been that recreational player that just came home from work or came home from hanging out and just want to play some video games. And then I've also played on a roster where we played game battles and tournaments and we had practices like day after day after day. So like we watch VODs and then you would go into a private lobby and for hours just run around the map learning callouts and learning like not even playing in a multiplayer match for hours, just shooting bots and working with your team chemistry. There's a lot of work that goes into the comp side. And it takes a lot of effort and time and a special type of individual to commit to that, because it's one thing you just hop on the game, play for fun, but it's another thing when you have 3 other players on your team who are relying on you and you are relying on yourself to perform at the highest level possible so that you as a collective group and team can pull off a win. So those stressful environments, I've been there, done that. And so like I've had people ask me, how were you able to stay focused, or what was it like playing for so long on a roster as an objective player? That's what I was, an objective player. Usually you have typically like previously you had like an anchor objective and then you have slayer and support SMG. Then there's some terms that now there's like a main AR, you have flex, you have objective, slayer, SMG. You can have an SMG that's also an SMG support / objective, but usually the flex is able to play all 3 of those roles. So there's throughout the years that the position titles or names have changed, but the roles kind of stay the same. But I was never that great of a slayer playing in the objective the comp scene, so I was always the objective player, and I didn't mind playing the objective. I actually love playing objective. I love being the one sitting on the hill at least 1x1 or 1v2, get the hill time, plant the bomb. S&D is my favorite game mode, and I'll talk more about that. I've talked about it in previous cards too, but playing as the objective role, it really opened up my eyes to show how important that role really is, how important every role is too, but how really important that role really is, because there are a lot of games any esports game too, but specifically Call of Duty because that's where I was mainly heavy playing. In Call of Duty, hardpoint, it doesn't matter per se how many kills you get because it's not TDM, it's not team deathmatch. So you don't get the win by getting the first like the amount of kills. If your team got 50 kills but nobody was on the hill, it doesn't matter. No one cares. Nobody gives a shit. You still lose because nobody was on the hill. And so being that role was so key in hardpoint, which is a very fast-paced, or can be a very fast-paced game, where there's people sliding in the hill and bunny hopping and dolphin diving and drop shotting, no matter, depending upon what title you're playing, and transitioning from title to title to title with all these changes to still play at the level of an objective player was very tough. Some people think, oh, you're just sitting on the hill collecting time. No, you have to help rotate, win that 1v1 in the back to secure the spawns if your anchor had died. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it that I think a lot of people don't understand. And a lot of people think the objective player is just like the easiest role when, in hindsight, if you're comparing objective versus Slayer, then one could argue the Slayer has more responsibility because they have to slay out everybody on the map. True. But objective roles, those are very tough too, because you have to win your gunfights, key gunfights. You have to get the objective because that's what's going to get you the team to win. So you have to make sure that you're in the hill constantly. You have the trophies, you have the support, you're able to help rotate. I mean, you can't just shoot outlines around the players and draw halos. You have to actually, get some kills too. So there's a lot more, speaking on that level of objective players to clear that up. There's a lot more to it. But I enjoyed it though. I did enjoy playing objective. It was very fun, very interesting. I learned a lot. Played with various different teammates with different skill levels and their own perspectives and their experiences and stuff. You learn a lot. Excuse me. You learn a lot when you decide, if you're like me, or if you have already done this. When you decide to step from just playing recreational and just for shits and giggles to being serious and locked in and committed, there's a switch like that. I mean, it is like you got to get locked in, and it changes everything. And some people can't do that, and if you can't, you can't. I mean, more power to you. At least you tried. But for those people who have taken that step and have been able to keep pushing on to that level like that, it takes a lot of mental fortitude. Mentally regaining too. I mean, like, you get slammed in a hard point, you got to go play S&D, and that sticks in your mind. Like, this dude shot my body and teabagged me right as the round ended. Now I'm mad. Now I gotta try to play slow in this first round. Because S&D, I mean, it's so methodical and, like, it can be at least, but, like, mentally, it can be exhausting, But yeah, I've played video games for a while, recreational and competitive play. Objective was my main. And I guess piggybacking off what I just said, there was a game on Detroit. I had to find the footage, and if I can find the footage, I'll have our editor put it in here. But there's a game. Actually, I might be able to find it right now. Let me see. But there is a game in Advanced Warfare, where it was on Detroit. It was Hardpoint, I believe. And I was playing objective, but I got so caught up in getting kills and kill streaks or score streaks. I think I dropped 30 in the map, and we still lost because I think my heal time wasn't that great. And so that just goes to show that if you're not communicating with your team that you're popping off and somebody else can just take the heal time, you will lose the map. Your KD doesn't matter at that point, And so there's that scenario. There's that example of if you're popping off and killing and nobody's on the hill, it really doesn't matter. And I think we lost that game by a few points. I want to say. Let me see if I can find that video. And so, speaking from both levels of recreational play and comp play, I think I can offer some tips from both sides of the coin. From both places and point of views. It's because I have played recreational for so long, and then I got into comp play, and then now I just play recreational here and there, but with a comp mentality. But it really is important. Um, like I said, I didn't write any notes. I don't have anything in front of me. I'm just going off of my personal experience and some things that I think would be helpful. And listening to other gamers that I've talked to, they always asking me questions and stuff. And so I figured this would be a little short podcast here. I'll throw some video up here. As you see, this looks like it's solar. Yeah, this is solar. Even though I didn't really enjoy the Advanced Warfare game near its tail end, I did enjoy the like futuristic aspect because it was like new back then. It was pretty cool to see. But I would say the most important thing I would say as far as a tip would go is just make sure you're having fun, right? Especially if you're playing comp. Like recreational, it's understood and a given that if you're just playing for recreational play, of course you're just there to have fun. But if you're a competitive player, it's very important that you have fun and that you oh, I forgot about this stupid glitch. People would do that all the time. I hate that shit. It's very important that you understand to have fun through all the shit that goes on in comp play. I've been blessed enough to have, and fortunate enough to have teammates and former clan members that were always making sure that I understood to have fun every now and then, to joke around, to ease the tension and just kind of get a breath of fresh air. Because I'm super, super competitive. Super, super competitive. If I'm locked in, like if I'm locked in, I'm locked and loaded. And I would oh, we were shitting on these people, they backed out. It's very important that like I would have teammates say, "Hey Nox, let's go play zombies or let's go play Minecraft or something else," because they'd be seeing I would get tilted, I get heated, and so it's good to kind of reel the person back in to be like, let's just have some fun, you know. We got shit on, but look, let's have some fun. And it really is important to have that understanding, especially in a comp scene. It's very important. I remember this map, Defender. But yeah, it's very important to have fun. Play as a team, I would say, is very important as well. Play your role, know your role, and play it to the best of your ability. Wake up with the mentality of this will I do and do it well. And the mentality I play with is like when my feet hit the ground, the devil looks up and says, "Oh shit, he's up." Like play with that tenacity, because you are counting on yourself. Your team is counting on yourself. Your fans of your team or fans of you are counting on you to be the best that you can be. So you just have to play as a team, play your role, build up that team build up that team chemistry. It's very important, very key, very very important. So yeah, make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're building your team chemistry. I would say, take ownership too, right? Like there's so many times where people don't take ownership of and responsibility of their said actions, whether it be good or bad. We want to always take ownership of the good that happens, but we're very quick to point the finger when something bad happens. And so I think building up the courage and the matureness of taking ownership of the things that you have done and are doing and did and will do, it helps build you up as a better person and a better teammate overall. I gotta take a sip of something. Get a little agua. A little water action. Yeah, taking ownership is very key, very important. I would say that's one of the biggest things that people fail to do. Is take ownership of their actions. Um, there'll be times when I'll be playing and I'll be saying like, uh, let's go push this team, and my teammate will be like, all right, yeah, let's go do it, and then I'm the only one pushing up. you know, follow up with action. Like you want to make sure that if you and your teammate or teammates have agreed to do something, like commit to that gunfight or commit to that push or commit to that agreed decision, commit to it. Fully commit to it. There'll be times, and I've seen this happen too with other people, but there'll be times where a player will be like, oh, there's a team over here. Okay, let's push them. All right, let's do it. And they push up, and then the teammate's like, oh shit, it's there's actually three of them. I'm backing up. Like, dude, I thought we were in this together, and they're nowhere to be found. Like, they didn't push at all. They got halfway there, then they decided to back out as soon as you went down. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. So definitely, if you're gonna commit to a gunfight or commit to something, commit to it. But also keep the communications heavy too. If your teammate's like, "Oh, there's three of them," and you're like, "Hey, you want me to try to revive you, or you want me to try to like, don't just leave the person hanging." Unless they say, "Oh, look, don't worry about it. Just leave me. There's too many. Just save yourself." Keep the comms heavy too. But I mean, you definitely want to take ownership and responsibility because it will build you up as a better player, as a better individual overall. Um, and when you're having fun and building a team chemistry, your teammates will know. You know, um, they'll know, and they're good to. Oh my god, I forgot about that shit. That man just did something to me that was just unspeakable. Um, it's very important that you value your teammates, um, and respect them enough to take ownership of your actions. Um, because at the end of the day, it's a team effort. It really is. Um, damn, I'm trying to think of some other stuff I can speak on. Um, do. I shit on that guy. Can this guy get it too? I had the assist. Oh, that was Nova. Nova kept stealing my kills right there. I think that's why I started shooting at him. Props to that man. Nova is a beast. Oh, I would say another thing too. Be mindful of your teammates as well. When like shit's going down, like if they're having an off game, like it can be frustrating. But recognize that everybody's human, everybody's not perfect, and everybody's not gonna hit a 40 bomb every game. Sometimes you're just gonna have an off game. And so, excuse me, I would say like speaking on like the piggyback of taking ownership, I mean, just recognize that your teammates will have off games, and don't be so quick to to. I mean, you want to build that team chemistry, right? You want to keep the vibes there. You don't want to be like, oh my god, why'd you push that? And then it's gonna be like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, you shut the fuck up. It's gonna demoralize your team. It's gonna not be a fun time. It's just gonna just you're gonna have teammates that just don't know when to stop with that toxicity. Um, and so there's a place, there's a time and a place to call out your teammates. Um, and there is a way in which is the best way to do it. But a lot of times players don't do it, and you see a lot of teams fall and dissolve because of that. Uh, they just disintegrate. Like their team just decays. It really shows. And what sets apart the best players from the shitty players is that common courtesy of, hey man, you know, you good, man? You dropped a donut. Yeah, I'm good. Just had an off game. You know, make it kind of fun, like poke fun. If you, oh, I guess I would lead into this. Don't get offended by every little thing too. Oh my god, this is gonna. I'm triggered right now. Just triggered myself. People get so fucking offended by every little shit that you say or do, and they don't know how to take it like in the set context in which you said it, or they just see how it comes off. It's like if you. I remember one time I think I was getting shit on, and one of my teammates said, "Oh, Nox, you just got shit on the entire match." I was like, "Yeah, I did." I can't get mad at him for that. Why would I get mad at him for saying that? Why would I get pissed off and say, "Fuck you, man! Don't say that to me"? Like, what? Why would I get mad at that? I got shit on. Poke fun. Like, this is some friendly banter. I mean, hell, sometimes I poke fun at myself. I'm like, man, Nox, what are we doing, Nox? Like, what the fuck are we really doing? Why did I push that? You know, it's just like some of the things. Oh, I'm getting PTSD from all these past experiences thinking about this. Some of these things, like people just get so fucking offended by every little thing. It's a difference between a teammate like calling you out and being really, really demeaning and derogatory towards you, and there's a difference between a teammate like poking fun at you or calling you out on your mistakes so that you get better to not do that. There is a very fine line. There's a difference. Some people don't articulate that properly. I get it. I'm not condoning or condemning anything. I'm just saying it's factual. It's a fact that it's gonna happen. Like your teammate's gonna tell you, "Hey, dude, don't do that anymore. Like, quit doing that." Or do that. You can't get offended. You can't get all butthurt and in your feelings. Like I have a zero tolerance level for a lot of shit. And that is one of the things that I just like. I have a zero tolerance level of you getting in your feelings or butthurt. That's not the time for that. You know, that is like literally not the time for that. Like at all. Like just grow the fuck up already. Like seriously. Sometimes people just need to realize they need to grow the fuck up. It's not that deep. Like you got shit on. Your teammate told you got shit on. Cause you got shit on, okay? It's a difference between your teammate constantly bringing it up and bringing it up in a way to kind of tear you down. That's something different. But if they're just like, "Oh, dude, you just got shit on right there," you can't snap and just get all up in your. Oh man, I need it. Woo, woosah, woosah, woosah. You can't do that, you know. And I've played with players alongside teammates that have popped off like that, broken their controllers because somebody said something and they couldn't handle it. And I was like, wow, you're gonna break a $50 controller because somebody poked fun at you. That's a real mental issue right there. Like mentally regaining, my guy. I guess that's another thing I will talk about. Mental fortitude and mentally regaining. Like a lot of things that can be done just to help build you as a better player and a better individual. It's not like some rocket science. Like it's not like some hidden manual. It's just like small stuff. Like it really is. Like from like the point I made to understanding different players, like a competitive player, a competitive player's mentality versus a recreational player's mentality. It will help you understand why certain players don't want to play certain game modes. Certain players don't want to do certain things. It will help you understand that and the reasoning why, especially if you're a friend of that person and you don't understand the comp side and you wonder why your friend only wants to play hardpoint. Well, a lot of us comp players, we don't want to play kill confirmed or TDM. There's nothing, we don't get no fulfillment or enjoyment out of that other than like maybe leveling up guns for attachments and getting nukes and shitting on people. But at the end of the day, if we're playing comp or we want to play objective, then we want something to play objective. There's another, like, I guess more so me. I know other gamers feel this way too, but like more so for me, it's like I don't want to play TDM. There's nothing there for me. Like let's play hardpoint, let's play domination, let's play something that has some type of objective to where I can get a lot of kills and get objective and feel like I actually like won the map because we like shit on them not only in kills but we shit on them in objective. That's what I want to do. And so a lot of people, they don't understand that. And I mean, I'm not knocking it. Not saying that a recreational player, oh, that guy just got bopped. I'm not saying like a recreational player has to like transform and conform to the ways of the comp player, you know. It's just speaking facts. It's not a debate. It's just some players will. That is the reason why they don't want to play certain game modes. It's just a simple fact. And so having that understanding, because you also have to understand that randoms, we call randoms, we call them out a lot, and we call them a lot of shit, and there's a reasoning for that. If you're a recreational player and you are constantly finding yourself queuing up in games, and there's a player on that team that's like getting pissed at you or calling you out or getting aggravated, um, it's probably because you're doing shit, and they view you as a random, someone who is not their gaming pal or gaming friend or buddy. They view you as somebody that they don't know. You are a random person that they are playing with. And 95% of the times, randoms are shit, and so they view you as a shitty random. I'm not saying this to be mean, I am just stating a fact that if you are a player and you queue up with players that you don't know and never met, and they are popping off and you are not, they're probably talking shit about you. They're probably seeing you as a random who doesn't know what they are doing. You are a Christmas noob and you need to leave the game. That is what's going on in their head. So to give you a fresh sense of the why, I'm not condoning or condemning. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit. I'm just telling you the reasoning why um, that will happen and take place, because it will. So having understanding of recreational play versus comp play, the mentality of a recreational player is far different than the mentality of a competitive player. Um, so keep that in mind too. You can still play the way you want. Like I said, I don't care. But just know that, if you are a random, if you don't want to get shit talked to, then either A, leave that match as soon as you see that person popping off and then wondering why you're not, or B, just do you and just know that you're probably, getting shit talked to. Yeah, well, man, I will say I did like this map too. Like I said, during the final stages of Advanced Warfare, I hated it, the game overall, but like this map was my favorite map. Even though I started losing interest in the game itself, this map was always a favorite of mine, a fun one. Using the BAL right there, I guess. I think. I think that's the bow. I think I had the speakeasy on the bow set up. Um, what else can I speak on? Okay, so I touched on like having fun, touched on taking ownership, don't get offended. Like seriously, like I triggered myself again. Oh my god. Like seriously, don't get offended. Like there's been times I've like unfortunately I've done it and I had teammates to be able to pull me back. But I've seen so many people do it more so than not in games. It's just like get over yourself for real. Like grow the fuck up. Like again, if somebody says, "Damn, dude, you just got shit on," fuck you, man, fuck you. Like, bro, I've literally had a teammate do that. They just went off. Like I think one of our teammates said something. They just went off on that person. It's like, oh my god, oh my god. Like I forget what game mode we were playing. I don't know if it was GBs or not. I don't know if it was Advanced Warfare or not either. There's been so many titles and so many players, but like there was, oh, I think it was Advanced Warfare, but it was a different map, and I mean they just went off. I was like, oh my god, this person, like chill out, man. Like because I try to have an understanding. I try to sit down and talk to the person before I just start like jumping to conclusions, because there was, you take stuff out of context. You guys be quick to you're gonna be hot headed. You're gonna be quick with it. So I try to talk with like individuals and find out the reasoning why they said or did something. Because there is always a reason why. There is the why I want to know. It's not so much that you maybe got frustrated or popped off. I want to know the reasoning why. Is there a valid reason? Is there though? Is there a valid reason, or you just? Oh, I'm using the BAL and the burst rifle, whatever the rifle was called, the IRA. I don't know why I just said IRA. I just butchered that. I don't think it's the IRA. It was something else. IBL. I don't. I'm not. You know what? I'm just gonna stop. Don't remember. I know that's the bow because just looking at it, that's definitely the bow. And I know I was using that other burst rifle that I like using. I don't know what it was called. Damn it. The name. If you know the name, please type it in the comments. But yeah, I mean, like shit like so shit like that. If I messed up on a gun game that I should have known, one of my teammates would have started laughing at me. I can't get mad at them laughing at me. I would laugh at myself. Like stop poking fun at yourself sometimes. Like not in a tearing down or self-esteem issue type of way, but like you have to know when there's a joke or when there's kind of a little friendly banter too. Like you have to know the difference. And if you don't know the difference, then you probably shouldn't be playing at the level of which you like in the comp level in that scene. Like seriously. I don't know, I just went on a whole rant about that, but like I see it so many times and I don't know why. I don't. I don't understand the why is a big thing for me. I sound like a broken record and I'm beating a dead horse, but I think knowing the why things happen and why players do things or say things on your team, specifically speaking, competitive play, will help you understand, like get a better understanding. Like, why did this happen? Why did we do this? Why did we like just the why? Just the big WYH. Oh, WHY. Well, why? Oh, I can't spell. Wow. WHY. Oh my God. I should go back to school, I guess. Hardpoint. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. My second favorite best game mode. I love playing Hardpoint. I got to shine in my objectiveness. I guess another thing I would speak on is if you're an objective player and you find yourself being in the hill, as you should be, um, here's a good tip. Don't just stay in the same spot. It is situational depending upon the hill and what's going on, true. But the majority of the time, yeah, don't just stay in one spot. Move around. Yeah, just don't camp like a common corner. And if you're gonna camp that common corner, make sure you're prepared to have a two stack that peaks that. Because time and time again, I see players just sitting ADSing, panning from left to right in a known corner or in some corner they're gonna get stuck in and not have any kind of movement as to get out, and they die and lose that gunfight in the back, and now the team is at a disadvantage because of spawns are not theirs and they have nobody near the hill. So you see how I'm playing this rock, and I'm constantly moving around for cover and looking at different angles. I'm not like I see this guy coming, my teammate's there, and trust. I'm sorry, I just ripped out your ears with that, but trusting your teammates and trusting in your own abilities to get stuff done. If your teammate says, I have the back, they're trusting you to trust them that they had the back, and they're trusting you to watch the front or watch another angle or whatever it is that's going on. So I think I could piggyback trust with um, moving around the hill and also the point I made earlier, which I forgot because I didn't write no notes down. This was just like spur of the moment. I just decided to do this. Trusting your teammates and playing your chemistry. Yeah. Like knowing like, hey, we should have did this, or and taking ownership of like, hey man, like I should have not pushed that, and your teammate could be like, yeah, we should have pushed together. It's all good. We'll try to rebake again. Like having that communication in the match and after matches, like is very key. Like, cause you're at the end of the day, your team and yourself should be there to help each other, and you're all fighting on the same team. You're not fighting against each other. You're fighting a different team. So it makes no sense to fight another team and fight yourselves and fight you as an individual looking at yourself in the mirror. So like you're fighting three people all at once. Like it makes no sense. Like it really doesn't. And like you see how I'm just moving around, right? Like I'm not staying in one spot. Like it's getting mixy, it's getting very like heated, like it's getting like we're in the blender right there. But I'm moving around constantly and I'm heading to the rotation. Like I see there's only 6 seconds left. Like knowledge, like all these things come into play. Like I don't know why a lot of people just don't understand it or don't grasp it or don't want to do it. But it's very, very important to be the best that you can be. But yeah. Trusting your teammates, um, having that constructive, like, if you want to say criticism, but having that constructive feedback from your teammates and knowing that they're saying things that help the team and help you and help them. So don't take it personally. I can group all that together, really. Trusting your teammates, constructive feedback, and taking shit personal, like all that can go hand in hand. It really does, to be honest. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, moving around too, movement. Like, please, don't just stay in one spot. Move around, move around. Again, it's situational. Like, okay, there's this spot right here. There's going to be a reason why I'm staying, and the reason why is this is a good spot so that you can see the stairs and the bottom of the opening right there. You can see the back stairs, the front stairs, and the window, right? And if you have a good headset or good sound cues, that spot is really good. But like you see, even though I'm moving around though, I still go back to this spot and I'm watching and I'm listening to my team call out, hey, somebody's coming from the front. I see this guy. I see two now. And you see Venom. He's calling it out. So Venom's trying to help me here. And I know there's two coming up. So like I'm trying to back up here, you know? It's okay to step off the hill a little bit to regain your health or reposition. People get so afraid to do that. Like they freeze up. Like literally, I guess they freeze up in person and their controller stops moving or working because their hands are not on the controller anymore. They just freeze up. It's like, man, my guy. But like, yeah, you always want to be moving around. Um, Always communicate with your teammates. Like, hey, what's the play here? Hey, let's just rotate. Okay, I'm here. I'm at new. Like communicating. Like even though I'm in this corner, I'm still moving around. I don't stay there for too long. I pick a different corner. Like I'm always trying to find out, okay, where they're coming from, where they're spawning. I'm gonna stay here for a little while just to, cause you do want to play it slow every now and then, patience. So again, it's situational at that point. Every match and every game and every map is different. So you gotta just have to like, it's gonna be to your discretion. But I guess if overall rule of thumb, don't just stay in one spot on the hill. Move around. Use your movement to your advantage. Like 100%, 100%, 100%. Can't stress that enough. But yeah, make sure you're having fun in the games. Um, so that it helps when you're getting shit on and your whole team is getting shit on, that you just laugh it off. Like you need to really do that. Like and again, I've been blessed and fortunate to have teammates help me get better at that. Just laughing shit off. Cause like I said, I'm super competitive. I live up to my gamer tag. Noxious is the gamer tag I specifically chose. You can Google that shit, Webster Dictionary, wherever you get your information from. You'll see the reason that the definition. Just look up the definition. It's pretty much like somebody toxic to play against, like unpleasant. It's toxic and unpleasant. I'm a very toxic person to play against. I will shoot your body and teabag you and make it known so that I get into your head, so that you can't mentally reestablish yourself for the next match. I do that on purpose. I do that on purpose for that reason, and I do it on purpose because I just love teabagging bodies. It's just, ooh. Like that right there was a good moment to teabag. I shit on both of those guys. I don't know why I didn't teabag. I think it's because we had, oh yeah, that was why we had to hurry up and try to, yeah. But I should have teabagged right there. Like that's a moment where, that was a good teabag moment. You ever like watch like gameplay or think about stuff and you're like, that should have been a good teabag moment. I think about that all the time. You know? Like, looking at all these games I played, this is young Nox y'all looking at. This is baby Nox back in the day. Well, let me knock on wood. I shouldn't say baby Nox because I don't want to have a child right now, even though I am 30. But that's a whole nother discussion. Anyways, but you see how I'm moving around? Like I'm knowing this guy's pushing. I kill him, and I immediately go back to looking around. I don't just stay in one spot. Like I'm using cover to my advantage. My team is watching one area, so I'm not even looking at that. Like I know, me and DW, we play a lot of Blackout together back in the day, and we always say this, and we always talk about it too, every now and then. Um, if he's looking left, if I see him on the minimap and he's looking left, I'm looking right, and vice versa. We're not looking at the same direction because we both know. Hey, Nox, I'm looking left. Okay, I'm looking right. He automatically knows. He doesn't have to like keep asking. If he's walking and he looks at the minimap, he knows I'm watching right, so he's gonna move up and do something else. So building off that team chemistry, like it's very, very key. Trusting your teammates to win their ones and trusting your teammates to communicate properly, like it's very important, guys. Like it really is. Ooh, we're going way back. Going to the Black Ops 2 era. This is wee lad Nox. This is the wee whittle lad. This is like, oh my god. What am I doing here? Wow. Yeah, didn't see that. Hence the reason why I was objective player, because I could not shoot for shit. It's amazing how, like, the farther back I go on these videos, um, the more I see I have improved. It comes with time. It comes with taking ownership and responsibility of, hey, I'm not that good, so let me get better. And asking other people what you can do to get better. I was not afraid to ask, like, you know, Nova and other Slayers, Insanity, like Nova and Insanity, other players of what I could do to get better, because they were a lot, and as far as like slaying and killing, like they were a lot better. So they knew what attachments to use. They knew the layout. For the longest time, I didn't play on tactical. I didn't know that was a thing, you know. And then sensitivity and I mean just all sorts of stuff. Like I relied on search and destroy my IQ. Because I do have a good IQ. I'm not saying that to be egotistical. I do have a good IQ. And that's why I excelled at search and destroy. Because if I can't outgun you, best believe I will outplay you and make you feel like you're a dummy. But I relied solely on my smart plays that I forgot that it is just as important to win gunfights too. So being able to constructively criticize yourself for things and knowing your weaknesses, like knowing your weaknesses and knowing your strengths, and then knowing your teammates weaknesses and teammate strengths, that helps. It's not, it shouldn't be used as a bad thing either. I know a lot of gamers out there use that as a bad way, and it's not good, it's not right, not, you know. But you shouldn't be afraid to speak to your teammates on a level of, hey, look, I suck at shooting. I'm really good at making smart plays and being able to stay alive, you know, movement, but my aim is off. What can I do to improve? Like, and a good teammate will help you get better and will not look at you as some weak link. Like a really good teammate and really good teammates will help each other in said person's or person weaknesses. I said weaknesses. I don't know. I'm just winging this, guys. I'm just throwing tips out there that I've experienced and that I've heard that might be helpful. I didn't write no notes, no nothing. I do this podcast by myself with the rain in the background. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the rain. It's not like storming. It's just kind of raining right now. It's little raindrops. Rain. Wait, how did he kill me? Some of those deaths I will tilt me too. I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, trust me, games will tilt you. You will get tilted. It's not a matter of if you will get tilted. It's when you get tilted. It's not a matter of if your team gets thrown into the blender and have a bad map, it's when. And the mental regain. Like this right here, we're just playing for fun. Yes, there's a lot of people that are in green arrows that I've queued up with, and one being Nova. But we're just playing. This is not a comp game. This is not a scrim. This is not a GB or a tournament. This is just us having fun. And I guess I will speak on the level of like going back to what I said, like comp players mentality. Even though I'm playing for fun here, this is when I was just getting into competitive play, and so I was like every little thing. I was like, man, I gotta get better. I gotta get better. I gotta get better. I want to be a good comp player. Like I was like whacked out. Like, um, but it is a good relief to just be able to play and have fun every now and then, and not have to worry about like the stress of competitive play, because it is stressful. There's a lot of things that go into it. Like a lot of people, again, I think I said it earlier. Like the objective player, there's a lot more to it than just sitting in the hill and sitting and collecting points as an objective player or planting the bomb. There's a lot more to it, because if you're not on the hill, it doesn't matter if you got 30 kills and 1 death. If nobody got the amount of hill time needed, you're gonna lose that game. So your KD, we don't give a shit about your KD. If you're an objective player, get the hill time and win at least a few gunfights. Win those key gunfights. But then it's hill time that's important. Or if it's domination or capture the flag or uplink or whatever it is, and not now it's control as the third game mode, which I won't go into that because I will trigger myself again. I've triggered myself enough times watching and talking. But I'm trying to think of all these points and tips that could be helpful. Like I would say just get a better understanding like of the game of different players. There's a vast majority of gamers out there that just play by themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. And competitive players, when you get into a lobby with randoms, and if it's just like a regular pub match, I mean, I understand your mentality. I get it. I get the reason why you're heated that you lost a search and destroy map due to the random being left alive and he's walking around with an AR with a sniper scope and a riot shield. I get the reason why you would just like flip a gasket and flip the fuck out. I would too. I can relate to you on that level. But we do have to understand it's a pub match. It's search and destroy, non-ranked, non-comp. People have the right to play like that, whether it's shit or not. So to counter that, if you want to play comp all the time, 24/7, live, eat, and shit and breathe comp, then that should probably be the game mode that you play constantly. I think gamers as a whole have to realize, and I group myself up in that, 100%, 10 times fold, myself included. It is always fun to pick at randoms because a lot of randoms are just shit. I will say that out loud, non-apologetic about it. Some randoms do just like they are bots. They are Christmas noobs, as we would call them. But if you're a bot, you're a bot. But just knowing the reason why, why does this person play with a riot shield? Well, because it's pubs and they can. And if they were in a ranked match, it would be banned, so they wouldn't be able to. So, yeah. It's just one of those things. It's like, and then, some people be like, why is this person getting so competitive? Well, because they play a lot of game battles and tournaments, and they are a competitive player, and they don't like playing pubs, but they don't have their team on to play ranked. And so their comp mentality is triumphing over them playing pubs for fun. And so they are really getting mad when the randoms don't do shit, because for the longest time, 8 hours a day, they play this game for money. They play it for a career. And so that is why they are mad at the randoms. And so just understanding the reasoning why. Not saying it's right or wrong. Not saying I'm condoning or condemning. I'm just giving you a fact. It's factual. It's not a personal truth. It's a factual truth. that a competitive player's mindset is vastly different than a recreational player's mindset. And that is where the two collide and clash. And you just have to chalk it up and say, hey, dude, yeah, I chose to play with a riot shield because I can. It's pubs. And if you don't like it, go play rank play. And then leave it at that. Like, don't take shit personal. Um, I think a lot of times, like, I think I said it earlier today. I don't know if I did, but if I didn't, I came from those lobbies where it was just like, oof, like, God, lobbies are back now, this day and age. But like back then, you could say and do shit, and nobody really gave a shit. And nobody got hurt or reported you. Nowadays, it's hard for you to say or do anything. And I think I said it earlier today. I'm not sure. I had a little hiccup with my computer, and I had to do a second take on this second recording. But if I didn't say it earlier, I'm saying it now. A lot of people get too offended these days. Just throwing it out. Vast majority. Not pointing fingers at any body or any person. Just saying, in general, what us players could say and do previous games is like, you say something to somebody in a lobby and you're at risk of getting reported or banned because you said that that person sucked. Man, you suck with that sniper rifle. Report. It's like, bruh, chill the fuck out. Like, there's a difference between like somebody like that like there's that banter that, like, you know, that, oh, who's the best shit talker, right? You know, like, oh, you suck with a sniper. Yeah, well, you suck with that fire shit. Well, yeah, you suck with it. Well, yeah. There's a back and forth, back and forth. There's a difference between that and like overly crossing the line. Granted, a lot of people cross the line. Okay, I get it. I hear you barking, big dog. As the Irish people would say, you know, you wee fucker. But there's a difference between fun banter and just the shit talking and trash talking. There's a difference. And if you don't know the difference, you should probably not be a part of it. You know? If you can't handle the heat, get the fuck out the kitchen. Like, if the heat gets cranked up, then either fight fire with fire or leave the scene. Run! Run, grasshopper, run, grasshopper. I don't know, it's triggering. Like, because like I said, I played recreational play when those COD lobbies were lit like that and the trash talking was like nonstop. And I played COD play when it was like that. And so it's like, I don't take it personal. Like, I just fight fire with fire. If somebody's going to trash talk me in a lobby, I'm going to make sure I remember their name, and I'm going to do what I'm mainly famous for. I'm going to teabag the shit out of your body and shoot it until you get so pissed off that either A, you leave the game, or B, you go negative. Because you can't get over that. So either you fight fire with fire, or don't fight at all. Is I guess what my personal opinion would be on that level. I remember somebody bringing that up one time about the COD lobbies and stuff and how toxic it is. It's like, this is nothing. Like, this new Modern Warfare 2 game brought back the COD lobbies, and you haven't experienced that 10 years ago. So that's why a lot of people don't know the why. I guess the big thing, I guess I could just call this episode why. The why things happen. The why COD lobbies are this way. Why competitive players are so, for lack of a better term, toxic or whatever. It's like, if you were alive or around playing 10 years ago, 11 years ago in these Call of Duty games, you would understand the reasoning why people are kind of pissed that they get reported for every little thing. Granted, people do go overboard. People do say bad things and use racial slurs that are not right and demeaning and tear people's self-esteem. I get that, though. That is wrong, like 100%. Like, there are some things that are not okay. But trash talking and I mean, there is a difference. There is a difference. And some people, they get so butthurt and so in their feelings by getting trash talked to that all they can do is just report and cry. It's like, man, dude, you shouldn't be playing this game if you're gonna be that way. there's a reason why the game rating is rated M for mature. If you're not a mature adult that can handle some certain things, you should probably pick up a game that's rated E. That's just my personal opinion. Back to the tips. I might end it here. I didn't want it to go too long, being that I'm just by myself, just kind of rambling, just kind of watching some old videos that I remembered about. I just kind of wanted to throw some tips out there, some pointers, because there's a lot of gamers out there that are new and upcoming, and some gamers that are trying to transition from recreational play to comp play. They don't know really how to do it or what the steps to take. I'm just gonna let you know right now, if you are a recreational player that's trying to transition to being a competitive player, it doesn't get easier. It only gets harder, and it only gets more intense and stressful. But if you think you have the mental fortitude to do it, and you can surround yourself with a good team and a good coaching staff and a good community, go for it. If you're trying to make a career out of it, definitely go for it. But do realize that there is going to be a lot that is expected of you. There's going to be a bar that has been set of expectations that you will need to meet, and I will gladly say that bar of expectations, you should look at yourself in the mirror and set a lot of those for yourself. Don't wait for other people to set it for you. Set it for yourself. If you hate search and destroy, be the best at it that you can be. Coming from a guy that hated search and destroy, it is now my best game mode. I was able to utilize my IQ and at least win one gunfight here and there, learning that game, and now it's my best game mode. And in Advanced Warfare, even though it was my least favorite game overall, like title wise, and all the Call of Duty games, Advanced Warfare is not really high on my list. In Search and Destroy, I was in the top 1,000 in the world. I think I was like 1,003 in Search and Destroy. I think that's granted, that was like pubs. But I'm just saying, like, the previous title before then, Search and Destroy was a game mode I hated. So it can be done. If you're not good at a game mode, or you can't just grasp it, you have to take the initiative yourself. You can't wait for other people to, per se, help you with that. You just have to take the initiative yourself and do it. And just you have to get the work done. So take ownership, take pride in your stuff too. Like own your mistakes and get better at not making the same mistake twice, and then be proud of the achievements. Like when you're getting better and you pop off, get gassed up. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's a difference between confidence and ego, and I won't go too much into that because it's just individualism at that point. I don't even know if that's a word. I just made up a new word, I guess, but there is a difference between ego and confidence. And that's something that you just have to dig and find in with yourself. And your teammates might, have a different definition and perspective, where you ego child that guy. No, I was confident I can get the gunfight. Like, people can go back and forth in that debate. So that's why I'm not getting into it. But do recognize that you do want to make sure that your overall ego is checked, because it can be detrimental to your team. But have that confidence, have that playstyle, have that tenacity to where you're just in it for the win. Understand the why of everything. Understand that there's going to be a lot that you'll have to do that might not seem fun. Like just sitting watching VODs for hours and hours and not even playing the game yet. But studying other teams and studying rotations and studying how your team, your failures and your strengths and weaknesses and achievements. But like, if you're a recreational player that doesn't really know too much about the comp side and you want to dabble into it, just know what I'm saying to be true. And there's probably a lot more that I haven't said yet that you will experience. But if you still want to be a recreational player nonetheless and not even have anything to do with comp play, then I will encourage you to have fun. But also be mindful that if you're just playing, just have fun and it's for shits and giggles, it might not be best to queue up in a ranked match and do shitty, because you're hindering other people who are trying to rank up and actually play for real, succeed, and you're just, at that point, in my personal opinion, you're a hindrance. So if you play rank play for a few times and it's like, man, it's too much, then quit playing rank play. If you're not trying to play at a certain level, don't play at those certain level in those certain level game modes. Keep it recreational. Okay, there is a place for everybody. A lot of games, unfortunately, has SBMM, so it's a little tricky. But a lot of games do have like ranked and non-ranked. They have ranked and non-ranked for a reason. Some developers forget the reasonings and they just put SBMM and everything. But the foundation of having, where it was derived from, the foundations in these games of having a ranked and non-ranked format was for recreational players to play non-ranked and have fun and just, have fun to the fullest and be happy. And then for ranked, for people who want to take that next step up, for them to be able to fine-tune their skills. So I'm just saying, from a personal experience, I've been both a recreational player and a competitive player. And I'm saying that there's a reason why both players hate each other in certain scenarios. And I think I've hopefully did a good job explaining the reasoning why. Hopefully that'll give you some insight and perspective on how to treat all players, and understand why certain players do and do not want to do certain things, and why they will say and not say certain things. And so just keep that in mind. But overall, yeah, make sure you're across the board, whether you're a recreational or competitive player, I think the best rule of thumb and the best advice I can give is just to make sure that you're having fun, regardless of if you're trying to play in a tournament for $1,000 or you just got the game for free and just playing for shits and giggles. No matter what, have fun, because at the end of the day, and I'm going to get closer to my microphone because I know you guys want to hear my smooth voice. At the end of the day, it is a video game. I understand eSports more so is like becoming like a big career, but there are plenty of video games out there. But at the end of the day, it is a video game. There are other jobs out there you can definitely do, even working behind the scenes. So twiddling your thumbs or on a mouse and keyboard, while it is very fun and can be a very good, fun career, at the end of the day, it is a video game. And if you find yourself not enjoying playing a video game as a career or a job, maybe take up streaming. Maybe take up some other form of esports content creation to where you don't have the added stress of being on a team competitive play, okay? Because at the end of the day, you should be having fun. You should. You really should. It's very important. I've found that to be true in my team and my experiences playing on a competitive roster, whether it be 4v4 or 5v5 or whatever the format is. It is important that all players are having fun, that they're having fun with each other, because great team chemistry and great team vibes go a long way. But I think I'm gonna end it there. I kind of went longer than what I wanted to. But I don't even know if I covered a lot of good tips or answered any questions that you guys had. I hope I did. If I didn't, I will definitely do one of these again. Maybe just throw in some more videos for you to watch while I'm talking. But I guess that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching. It has been a pleasure. This is another episode of the HCOM Podcast. And as always, I am Nox. You guys be cool, stay safe, like for real. Like really, be cool and stay safe. I'll catch you later. And we're out.